Hello, and welcome to my Cult of the Lamb run. Now, to start with, we're going to have to get some of those lovely power-ups, and that's going to take some time. As you can see, there's quite a few, so let's speed that process up and get going. And now we're going to go turn our followers into little demon friends, and I like to go with a physical attack, a ranged attack, and an explosive attack, simply because I don't really need that many hearts. If you look up at the top left, I've got quite a few already, and I find these that do a little bit extra damage on top of what I already need going. Once you do that, we'll head off to the vault. You may have noticed in the top left it says damage add 50%. It's hard to read because there's so many hearts in the way, but I'm wearing a cape that makes it so for every kill you get an extra 5% damage, and if you get hit, you take double damage. So on top of the hundreds of percent that extra damage I'm already doing, for every player I kill, I get increased damage on top of that. If I get all the way through to the boss, that's some damage. And even luckier here, RNGesus blesses me with a Blazing Trail tarot card that makes it so if I roll into an enemy, I do them damage. And that damage is also the amount of damage I'm doing to the enemies. So I can roll through that enemies and kill him in one hit. Sadly, Kemak decided not to treat me to a useful relic right until the end of the game, where I can't use it because I can't kill enough people to charge it in time, but still, it's useful at times. I did wonder about picking up the Godly Gauntlet here because of the 3 attack bonus damage you do, but I don't find the risk of getting that attack is worth sacrificing the damage that the heavy sniper attack does from the blunderbuss. So I'm going strictly for maximum damage, and that seemed to be the best option. I don't know about you guys, but these bats, I hate these bats more than any other enemy in this game. And here we have our first boss of the run. Let's see how many hits this will take. And there we go then. After struggling so much with our boss, we can now see in the top left corner we're up to 340% bonus damage as well. Let's see how high we can get this. I want to point out, in this room, they have shields on. I am doing that much damage, shields don't need a heavy attack anymore. This is wonderful. We are now at 515% extra bonus damage. Insane. I think I messed up here a bit for overall damage because I picked with movement speed, but then the giving god that is Clauneck decides to give me a 20% extra damage during the day for, I'm not going to figure that out, we'll see by the end of it how much that'll be, but I'm currently at 600% extra damage with an extra 20%. Okay. What was I just saying about Clauneck being a giving god? And here he is with an extra 1.2% damage to my melee weapon. What a guy. And here we have a bit of a game changer going from 455, so that's about an extra 150 damage from my previous weapon. And although I do like speed and distance, I can't ignore that insane amount of overall damage, including the power attack this thing has. My only problem with the hammer is how much longer it takes to clear up a room to get all the little extra bonus materials you want, because it is a slog. And here we have the second boss of the run. Now, let's see if he's able to put up any more of a defense than the first one. No. Let's move on. With that defeat, we go into the next area with an extra 775% bonus damage. Praise the lamb. And this, my friend, sadly, is the room that represents the death of the 895% bonus damage with a single attack. It was a good run. We still have a lot of extra damage, but imagine what it would have been an extra 1000%. Now, I thought I was being smart here by picking the relics do double damage, but start uncharged. As you'll see in a minute, I find the perfect relic, but start with no charge. Silly me. I'm going to use the tarot card from earlier here to make it so I don't need to waste it on any extra resources. I just want to get straight to the fight now. We've been here long enough and I need to kill that sucker. At this point, I have over 100 hours in this game, and I've not once, ever, come across a room full of chests before. This is a nice run. Anybody who's played this game knows that that enemy was the strongest non-boss enemy in the game, and he lasted half a second. This is the relic I was talking about earlier. And given that I have 40 followers, that would have done an unimaginable amount of damage. But no, of course, Dan didn't think ahead, and it starts uncharged, and I don't continue to go through the run before I get to the boss. Silly Dan. Next up, we have the big bad boss himself, Bishop Leshy, with an extra 85% damage, 1.2 on the weapon, and 20% during the day. It would have been lovely to have had that 895% extra damage, or more, if Dan had mucked up as simply as I had. But with the damage we already have, and the weapon, I'm sure we're going to do well, and, well, let's see how many hits it takes, shall we? Now, here we see him take the slightest of hits to begin with, followed up by a second one by my demon, and a third from my hammer. It would have been fine with one hit from myself. I can't help what the demons do, but I don't know what that tiny slither at the beginning of the match was. But as you can see, very little hits, massive amount of damage, and it would be even more if I'd concentrated. So next run, let's see if we can get him in one. But thank you very much for sticking around. Hopefully you got to the end of it. I'm going to put out more on this road to one-shotting the bosses, see how far I can get, and I'll see you in the future. Thank you for watching. Little bonus clip here. I thought it'd be interesting if anybody wanted to see how much my game struggles sometimes with 40+ followers in there. Look, it can barely run. Look at that bird. Look at it. It can barely. There we are. Caught up. Thank you again, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.